Hey, gorgeous people. Hope you're having a great start to your Friday and jumping in with today's live video. And today we're chatting about the two things that are going to most impact your personal fulfillment and your personal success. And this also could be business success. It could be in the area of wealth. It could be in success in life in general. It could be success in your health or your body or your physical energy. It could be success in your relationships. So feeling really fulfilled, really joyous, really happy, really connected in your relationships. Feeling that you've got the energy and the inspiration to get up every single day and to love what it is that you're actually doing. And these two things are so critical to this. And I was having a conversation with one of my beautiful international clients the other day, and very successful person, like has done extremely well by anyone's normal standard or by society's standard, and yet is left feeling unfulfilled and very flat. And that's why I really wanted to jump on and talk about this, because often, sometimes we can gain a lot of success perhaps, but then be feeling lost and empty and almost robotic and like, what's the point, or why even bother? And so this, it really leads to like a disconnect of the heart, a disconnect of the spirit, and it's at a deeper level, it's a disconnect from your passion and your purpose. And that kind of leads us into, the first thing, which is your purpose. Why you do anything absolutely impacts your personal fulfillment, and I'm going to explain why. Because without this, you feel like kind of like you're just moving through the motions. You might burn out really quickly. You might quickly get frustrated with your kids, impatient with your partner. There's just so much around this. And good morning to everybody jumping in. Hey Danielle, great to have you on here, darling. And Rosie, lovely to see you on here. And Renee, it's so great to see you, darling. I haven't seen you for ages on here. Sandra, lovely to see you on here as well. Say hi if you're jumping on. Let me know where you're from, or if you are watching a replay later on, also please let me know #replay so I can kind of get a guys. But like, how many of you, I guess, like, does this really resonate for at the moment in terms of like your own personal fulfillment or your personal success? Are there particular areas, perhaps, maybe not all life areas, but perhaps there's one area where you kind of seem to be struggling in a little bit? And please also let me know if you've got any direct questions that you'd like to ask me, or even general questions. I'm more than happy to have a conversation around this as well. So send me some love if this is really resonating for you. Hey Annette, lovely to have you on. Hey Rod, lovely to have you on as well. So the number one thing that I first spoke about, and this relates to personal fulfillment, guys. So you will feel robotic, you will feel disconnected from, or perhaps a little bit purposeless. If you have a to-do list either in your head or on paper, and if you do get overwhelmed and stressed, jump back into my video that I did last week that I spoke about overwhelm and stress and how to get out of that very quickly and very easily, and to create sustainable momentum around that moving forward. But if you are one of those people that have the to-do list and you feel like you're just moving through the motions, just ticking things off, and there's no real passion, there's no real you kind of feel a bit lifeless, if that makes sense. This is because you're not deeply connected with your why. What is your deeper purpose? What is your deeper passion? It's been something I've been working on myself, getting deeper clarity around this, because essentially it drives very much intrinsically and extrinsically. So it drives us internally, around our choices, around why we're actually doing what we're doing. It helps us feel more fulfilled, more connected with others. It gives a greater sense of confidence. It helps you feel that you're living absolutely authentically. It makes you feel like you're living in integrity and congruency with the person that you were meant to be. And we're all born for a very specific, unique purpose. Now, a lot of people think, I need to be struck by lightning, or there's going to be some voice from the heavens that booms down and says, this is your purpose. It's not like that, and your purpose will continue to evolve and grow. And your purpose is 100% inner directed. So your inner guidance, your heart, your soul knows what matters most to you. And it's when we're connecting with what matters most is when we feel truly alive, and there's no convincing, there's no motivating, there's no pushing to try and get anything done, because literally you're led from that pure place of inspiration, and it is joyous. You're not stuck in paralysis analysis, you're not stuck in fear, you're not stuck in overwhelm or any of those things, because with the highest level of purpose, you will bring the highest level of yourself, and that is where we truly feel fulfilled. We truly love who we're being and how we're actually showing up. And I'm going to take you through how to actually elicit this for yourself as well. Hey Laura, great to have you on, hun. Hey Christy, good to see you on here as always. And beautiful Kate, loads of love to you, darling. So many beautiful people. Hey Caroline, great to have you on as well. So this is so important. Like I said, getting really reconnected with why. Now, why you do anything is specifically really important for this fulfillment. When I go through my to-do list, and so each day I'm very specific in how I plan my day, how I schedule my day, because I'm clear on my life goals. So that's a completely different topic, a completely different conversation. But I guess having clarity is really the first step to this. This is kind of the second step. So if you haven't yet got clarity, perhaps, reaching out to me and let's do a clarity call and get you really specifically clear on what it is that you do want to create, because without that, then it's difficult to kind of find a reason as to why we're actually doing what we're doing. And if you're not clear on that, you will feel vague, you'll feel lost, you'll feel confused, you'll feel like you're kind of bumbling through your day, not really sure. It is that disconnect from your heart. It's like nothing really has a deeper meaning or a deeper purpose. There is a great book, if you haven't read it, it's by Viktor Frankl, A Man's Search for Meaning. And in truth, any event or circumstance that we live in life, we create a very specific meaning around. Therefore, it makes sense that anything that we're going to do or wanting to do, we've attached a meaning to that, either unconsciously or very consciously. And what I'm asking you to do is get really conscious. Why are you actually doing what you're doing in life every single day? Now, if this comes from a place of, well, I have to go to work because I need money, that feels like shit, guys. Like, seriously. And this is where we can kind of end up feeling robotic or even resentful of the things that we're actually doing. Perhaps if it's like, well, what do I need to clean the house, or I need to clean up after the kids, and it's like, well, I have to. And this is where we become kind of victims in life as well. And I had a beautiful girl, she was on a young, serving me at the checkout the other day, and she was all friendly and, hi, how you going, and how's your day been? And I said, yeah, no, it's really great. How's your day? Oh, well, my day's been super busy, and I'm in year 12, and I'm studying and everything else at the moment, and then I have to come to work. And I said, oh, it's great that you get to choose to come to work. And that may or may not have flown with her, and personally, I don't really mind either way, because I was more saying it to reinforce with myself around how we get caught up and we become a victim of our life rather than a creator. Anytime you believe you have to do something, it feels like rubbish. I have to go to the gym, I have to eat healthy, I have to meet family or friends. Like anytime we're saying I have to, it's like you've got two hands in your back, somebody pushing you forward. What's the natural inclination when somebody's pushing you in the back? You resist, right? And then we end up wasting so much energy because you're kind of fighting with yourself going, well, I have to, but I don't really want to. And it sucks the life energy literally from us. So this is so critical and so important to be able to really understand. And good morning to Adam, and good morning to Christine as well. So how we actually start to dive into this and get clearer on your why is really starting down. Just start to write, why do I choose to do this? Why do I want to do this? And it will make sense when we dive into the second part of this, which ultimately will lead you to your success. And it's the one biggest determining factor of how successful you become in life, because everything hinges on this. this. So the first part is, why do I want to do this? Why would this excite me? Why would this light my heart up? Why am I choosing to do this? Because the second that we move from have to, need to, or should, or must, or obligated, or it's my duty, like any of that stuff, the second we move from that into choice, now you've set yourself free, like energetically, emotionally. You've got so much more energy to put towards this thing, because you know ultimately you are actually choosing it. You're choosing to go to work, and whether that's because you want to live the lifestyle that you are, or you don't want to be sleeping in a gutter, or you like are wanting to provide for your family, all of those are very clear and very noble distinctions to make for yourself and start to get you connected to your deeper why. Now, why else do I want to go to work? It might be you love doing what you do, and what I would suggest, if you don't already love doing what you do, get another job or find something, get into your own business that you are passionate. We spend so much time, and I'm not telling you anything new, you already know this, and if you resent going to work, or you feel horrible about going to work, you can tell, you know that this is impacting you in so many other ways. You'll come home grumpy to your partner, you won't feel energetic, you'll feel bored, you'll feel like you just don't want to be doing anything, you may not be focusing as much on your hobbies or playing and enjoying life as much as what you could, when you feel that you're trapped in and feeling therefore powerless or a victim of your situation, because you need the money, so you've got to go to work, but you don't enjoy the work, or you don't enjoy the environment or the culture or any of those things. Now, I know personally what that feels like. I used to, years ago, I was working for a particular corporation, and I initially loved working for that corporation when I was in a different branch, and I came to another branch and literally was curled up in the fetal position, crying my eyes out each morning, forcing myself to get into the shower. So if you are there, I know what that feels like, and it is horrendous. I think I resigned. It was probably only like a week or 2 weeks later. I just went, not another day, not another second. I will find, and it's the first time I've ever resigned without actually having something to go to. The second I took that leap, I applied for and got a job, and I actually had started, I was starting the job like literally the following Monday after I finished at the other place. But setting myself free and committing to a new standard for myself, because I loved and appreciated myself and I wanted more for myself, that is absolutely key and essential to being able to make those hard decisions sometimes. Now, I'm not recommending you go out and quit your job. That was what was right for me. Tune into what is right for you. Everybody's got their own inner guidance. Everybody's got their own answers. So do what feels right for you, but make sure that you're not holding back from a place of fear. It's like, and one of the things that Brendon Burchard often talks about is flipping that. Often when we're faced by things that are confronting or we don't want to move through, we're focused on what could I lose instead of what could I gain. It's a great way just to flip that question and to step into the truth of who we are. So what could I gain? Oh my God, I could feel connected to my purpose more. Now, think about your life experience as well. When you think about your purpose at a deeper level, developing that greater sense of passion, what have you lived through as a life experience? Now, I know one of my greatest purposes, what I absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt, is that I was born to teach people self-love. It's been a majority of my own life my life experience, and therefore we become whatever our biggest challenges are, often has actually set us up to actually step into that greater purpose. People that, work in a lot of social counseling or social services where they're providing, have experienced trauma themselves. So think about, what have your life experiences been? And as a result of that, what have you been able to overcome? What obstacles have you moved past? Perhaps you grew up in a family of, poverty, and you are like totally on a mission to not only change your own wealth, but to teach other people about wealth and about money and about creating an abundant lifestyle. So any of the pain that we've generally experienced in life definitely can come back to how we show up differently, or what we feel called to from a soul level, from our heart level, of why we actually want to do things. Now, this leads me into the second part, which is your identity. You will never outperform your identity. Now, your identity can evolve and shift and grow. My identity years ago, quite honestly sucked. Like, it was like, I'm bad, I'm a failure, I'm horrible, I'm fat and ugly, I don't love myself, I'm no good at anything, I'm not fit, I'm not healthy, I get angry at my kids, I'm a bad mum. Like, it really reeked of negative self-talk. And this is where I know from my own experiences in life, in how I felt about me, not necessarily how other people treated me, although sometimes it felt like that impacted that, but I was creating that circumstance because of who I was being and what I was willing to accept as a result of having low self-worth, low self-love. And so this is so powerful to be able to really step into, who would I be if I was to already show up at the next level? So any area of life, or perhaps all levels of life that you're wanting to transform, if you want an overall kind of blanket thing, ask yourself in a more general way, how would I be showing up right now if I was already performing or showing up or holding myself accountable to the next level? Would I be more committed? Would I be more focused? Would I be more present? Would I take better care of my body? Would I be more patient? Would I be more kind, compassionate? Like, these are all just sorts of things that kind of come up for me. And I had a really, a huge breakthrough moment this morning, because the second question, and I asked myself this, what would I believe if I was already living this, or I was already in that, or experiencing this new situation? So this is where you can start to apply it a little bit more specifically. So and think about the result that you want to create, so have that clarity, whether that's financially. So if it's the next level of income, how would I show up if I was already creating or generating 10,000 a month, or 15 or 20, or even 5,000 a month, like whatever your goal is specifically for you? How would I show up, and who would I be at that next level? And so you can ask yourself that specifically. Now, personally for me, in relationships, that's where I've really struggled to stay, and even my language indicates that, right? I've struggled to remain as an empowered woman in a relationship. By myself, totally kick-ass, no problems there. It wasn't always that way, but man, I'm super confident when I'm by myself. Put me in a relationship, and I have to catch myself so consciously these days of when I drop my energy and I start to become submissive, or start to become a people pleaser, or focusing on everybody else's needs instead of what really feels right for me. That's where I allow my personal boundaries sometimes to be violated, simply because I'm not communicating effectively because of the underlying identity that I've established. It's not okay to have my needs met, or my needs aren't important, or not as important as others. There's all of this underlying beliefs that actually underpin the identity. But by getting clear, who do I need to be? And where my personal breakthrough came through this morning was, who would I be if I was already empowered? And I often have many times where I'm empowered in my relationship these days, and I'm still clearing this up a little bit. So this is it's a work in progress, right? Just like any area of life, every time you want to go to the next level, you're going to have to upgrade your beliefs. You're going to have to upgrade your identity. You're going to have to upgrade how you show up for yourself, how you're feeling, the emotional standard that you set for yourself each day. All of those things are absolutely key to embracing success at the next level. Whatever you're stuck at is because you believe that that's all that you can have, or all that you're worthy of, or there'll be an underlying belief that it's not okay to have more in whatever area. It doesn't matter whether it's health, energy, there'll be things that you're telling yourself and things that you're saying to yourself. So what I asked myself was, what would I believe right now if I was already being empowered in a relationship? It would be, I'm safe. It's safe to be powerful. Wow. When you've hit a core belief that's really impacted your life. I literally started crying when I realized that, because it's like, that's what I haven't been actually allowing underneath. I had a belief that it wasn't safe for me to be powerful in relationship to other. Now, some of that certainly has been from life experience, but other than that, I also attracted so much of that because I believed that probably from a young age. And if you think about it, like, my parents were awesome. I don't want anybody to get any other ideas about, they were very, very loving, very, very supportive. But this is how this can kind of come through, even as a child, is if you you are like powerful in your wants, needs, or desires, or you're like, this is what's right for me, or this is what I want, and then you're being punished, or you're being sent to your room, or even just a look, like a nuance, like a look from somebody of disapproval, or a feeling of disapproval. Now, I'm ultra sensitive, so that stuff penetrated me deeply. But if you got in trouble or had love withdrawn from you, that's a punishment. So then it feels like it's unsafe to be powerful, or to ask for what we want, or to have what we want, or to step into that. Now, I get, we all need discipline. I'm not bashing discipline or anything else, but it's really fascinating how sometimes some of these things can kind of come through and really impact us at a deep level, at a deep unconscious level, because it's all the subconscious programming. And remember, from 0 to 7, we don't have an analytical mind that goes, hey, is this a good belief to have? No, kind of is pretty sucky. I'm actually going to ignore what that person's saying. No, everything goes in as ultimate truth. And it's not until life starts to play out, and obviously as adults, then we start to look at what are some of the programs, or what are some of the underlying beliefs that are actually impacting the way that I'm living my life, what I believe that I'm worthy of or deserving of, and how I'm actually showing up. And so, like if you got teased a lot as a kid of being fat or being chubby or anything else, body image is going to be a huge thing. If you felt ashamed either for having money or not having money, money's going to trip you up. Like all of these things, and it's what we've attached to our identity. Now, our identity is as raw and like pure, like at its core essence, but it's all the subconscious stuff. So when you're born, you are just pure divinity, you are pure absolute love, and it's all these layers of muck that kind of come on or get placed upon us, and we're accepting all of that as truth. And it's our job to kind of pull off the brown coats to expose the truth of who we really are authentically, and know that we are absolute love, we are unlimited divine creators that are here to experience joy and happiness and expansion and growth and evolution and all of those key things. So it's only ever the ego survival mind that tells us that we're not enough, or we're failing in some way, or we have to do something, like, because it's all coming from fear, and all coming from the rules or the beliefs that we've had instilled in us of who we need to be in order to be accepted and loved and belong in the world. Now, a lot of the time people confuse love for approval. So often it's actually to be accepted and to get approval from those around us, and to fit in and belong. And that's a survival mechanism. Like, at its core, we need to fit in to belong and survive as kids. Otherwise, that can be pretty scary and pretty daunting, in so many ways. So, if a child is not accepted and loved into its family environment, that child will fail to thrive. There's been loads of studies done around that. So stepping back into your identity, who do I need to be, and what would I believe right now, and how would I feel? These are the core aspects for really starting to shift things and to starting to up level to that next level of success. So if you're wanting to generate, and this was one of the key things that I did when I stepped into becoming a 6-figure coach and then increasing my income year on year, was how would I be showing up? Who would I be? What would I be feeling each day? What would I believe if I was already earning that level of income, or if I was already living in this dream place that I dreamed of, or if I already had the body that I truly wanted to create for myself, or if I already had the dream relationship that I'm envisaging? How would I show up? How would I be responding or communicating? What would I believe to be true? What would I know as my truth? And what would be my aligned actions around that? So this is key, guys. That is absolutely the key to up-leveling your success in any area. So if you're not getting the results, ask yourself, what would I believe? What would I know if I was already had shifted? It helps you to literally quantum leap. I shared this in my Inner Circle Mastermind the other day, along with some other bits and pieces there as well. But it is absolutely essential. Hey, Bron, great to have you on here. And Tracy and Rochelle, lovely to see you. And Tara. Who else have we got on here? Hey, Laura, great to see you, darling. So absolutely essential and key, guys. So the two biggest takeaways, just to wrap it all up in a nice tidy bow, to your personal fulfillment and to your success, is purpose. So get in touch with why. Why do I want to do this? Even to the most basic thing. Like, why do I want to do this live video? I love sharing, any snippets of gold that I've got. I feel so alive when I do that. I feel great when I'm interacting with you guys. But overall, it's part of the integrity of who I actually am. I get to learn it at a deeper level, and it makes me feel really great. Now, some mornings, and this may shock you for me to say this, but and it hasn't happened for quite a while because I've been holding a higher standard for myself, but particularly in the early days, and even after doing this for a couple of years, like I've been doing live videos for a long time now, I would get highly, highly, highly anxious before I jumped on. And it's like, how do I overcome that fear? Why is this really, really important to me? Why do I need to jump on and do this? And honestly, like, it lights my heart up. It's like I have so many people reach out to me and say, oh my God, like, I don't even know that people are watching sometimes, or that they read my stuff. I've had people reach out to me, been following you for a couple of years, or been following you for 4 or even 6 years, and I've never once seen them like, love a post or anything else. They're like, you make such a difference to my life. And for me, it's just like, I had no idea. But first and foremost, it's because it's the integrity of who I say that I am. If I say I'm going to show up as a leader, I'm going to show up as an expert in the field of emotional mastery, and law of attraction, manifestation, all of those things. And it's like, why? My God, I've got to overcome this fear, because leaders go first. Leaders show up. I want to be an empowering and amazing role model for my girls. And essentially, that's really what got me going on my purpose initially. So my purpose initially was I wanted to be a great role model for my kids. That was it. But that drove me every day. It got me out of bed. It got me showing up in a different way. And then secondly, so obviously your purpose, why you want to do anything, and anytime you feel resistant, come back to why. If it's a have to, need to, should, readjust and say, what would inspire me about doing this, or why am I excited to do this? Because that's coming from your heart. That comes from a place of love, and then you'll feel led, not pushed. There's a very different feeling, obviously, between being led and pushed. And this is how you lead yourself. This is self-leadership at its core. Success comes back to your identity and the beliefs that you've held that lock that identity in place, that keep you cycling, that keep you stuck, that keep you in the same situations again and again. It all comes back to identity, in who you believe that you are, in what you believe that you're worthy or deserving of, and what you tell yourself on a consistent daily basis. We hypnotize ourselves. Actually, I was at an event on Wednesday night and having a conversation with some girls that had hypnosis for weight loss. And they were sharing that, it worked for about 3 months and then it wore off. I said, it didn't wear off. I said, you programmed yourself again by your self-talk. And we do this every single day. So self-hypnosis is nothing more than the internal dialogue that we have with ourselves. Our body is a puppet, the mind is the director, and so your puppet will follow the instructions of your mind. If you are coming from your ego, your survival mind, it's going to be fear-based. If you are led from your heart, your soul, and you're connected to that part of you, it is going to be love-based in your actions, in how you show up. But underpinning everything is the identity. It's how you see yourself. Max, I'm just trying to think of his last name, can't think of it. Cybernetics is, I think that's the book. I'll see if I can grab a photo of the book and post it below. He was a plastic surgeon. He used to say, it used to fascinate him. Some people would feel radically different after plastic surgery, and other people, even though they looked entirely different after their plastic surgery, or perhaps if they had birth, what would commonly be called birth defects, although I feel like everything obviously happens for a reason, so I hesitate to call it a defect, but what people would call a birth defect that they had corrected through plastic surgery, then that would, that he would notice that even though the person looked very, very different, they would still actually act as if they had that same scarring or that same defect or that same issue. And this all goes back, and he was so curious as to what made the difference. And it all comes back to self-talk and who we believe that we actually are. And therefore that impacts your actions, it impacts your results, it impacts in how you show up in the world, and you will self-sabotage again and again and again, even if great stuff comes, if you don't believe that you're worthy or deserving, or you see yourself less than what's coming to you. It's how we derail in great relationships, or push people away that really are being loving and wonderful towards us. There's so many different aspects where this plays out. So I truly hope that's been helpful for you guys. Send me some love if that has, and if that's really helped you really get clear at that next level. Also, ask me some questions if you're a little bit stuck in this area, or if you're wanting to have a conversation. This is my specialty, this is my expertise, is really around the mindset coaching, the emotional mastery aspect, in helping you shift. And we can have a conversation, see if and how I might be able to help you step into that next level of success for yourself. And this is, again, super powerful. We are spending an entire weekend working on this. It's from the 24th to the 27th of April. If this really resonates with you, you will absolutely love the content at my Soothe Your Soul Health Retreat. We are focused on health and well-being, but more so that connection to self, and really getting clear on who you are, what's most important to you, and therefore what are the changes that you then need to implement coming back home to align with that next level version of yourself as well. So if that really resonates, we are in beachfront accommodation. There'll be beautiful yoga, massage, sound healings, soul food, super nutritious food, all the things to really help you to take that time out for yourself. There'll be plenty of time to rest, plenty of time to journal and reconnect with yourself and your heart's desires. So please let me know if that resonates for you. I can send you some more details. The price point is very reasonable, and I'm really looking forward to helping you guys in any way that really resonates for you guys, and can go from there as well. So yes, I love being a creator. That's super powerful. I love that, Danielle. That's awesome. Lovely to have you on as well. Nadira and Diana and Jace. Great to see you on here. Sandra. And Rochelle, I've already said hello to, but thanks so much, guys, for jumping on. Truly appreciate your presence, your time, your energy, and so grateful just to have you on here. And like I said, if this does resonate for you, or you know that there's somebody else that this might really help to shift and change, perhaps if they've been a bit flat, or feel a bit disconnected or a little bit lost within themselves, this is going to be super powerful to share with those that you love and that you genuinely care about, and so please feel free to share, like, or love the video, because of course the more that we can kind of get this out there, it just helps all of us raise up to a different level. All of us step into greater wealth, abundance, love, and only good things can come from that as well. When so many people are heart-centered and really are living that abundant life, it just means that we can help more people to step into that level of freedom for themselves, but to also really help the people that are at perhaps a ground level, or feeling they haven't got the resources that they need in order to be able to really support themselves, and we can give back in a truly meaningful way. And I know that's something that's very important and dear to my own heart. With Sponsor Kids in Zimbabwe, I've got a huge goal of sponsoring 100 kids. I'm so far up to 4, and that will be continuing to increase over this next year quite substantially. So I'm really excited to be able to contribute at that next level. And when we're taking care of ourselves and we're doing that, filling up our own bucket, it means that we can truly give from the overflow in a joyous way that feels amazing, not from an empty bucket of feeling angry, resentful, feeling like you have to, you need to, you should. There's no obligation in that at all. It just means that we get to show up at that next level. And I've found for myself personally, it's when I've made it more about what I can contribute to the world, or what I can do to help others. That's where my whole purpose has kicked into another gear. When you have a big, powerful why, I promise you will find the ways to get over things. You will become more resourceful. You will get up. You'll become relentless in your desire to be able to create or help or make a difference in the world in some way, shape, or form. And that's, I truly believe, is where we feel absolute deeper levels of self-love, integrity, congruence, and we step into an even more powerful, wonderful version of ourselves. So loads of love to you all. Have an amazing, incredible Friday, and have a great weekend. Bye for now.